Hello everyone, this is B. Junior from B. Junior's Movie Cave on the Endurance Productions YouTube channel. Here to do a good old-fashioned back-to-basics movie review for you today on a screener that's come to me in the mail recently, entitled Fan of the Dead. Yeah, I got the kind of the harkens back to the Dawn of the Dead cover art there. Check it, yeah. Good tagline: when the dead are in the theater, the fans will walk the earth. A must for any George Romero zombie fan. The Zombie Fan's Road Trip Movie. 40 years of history in one DVD. You're probably asking yourself, what is this? Is this just another zombie documentary that's out there because everybody's zombie crazy nowadays? No, that's a good way to start off by saying no. This is basically a homegrown version of a Horror's Hallowed Ground episode, much akin to Sean Clark's current series that he does from time to time on DVDs. This is a Fan of the Dead, put out by the wonderful folks at CheesyFlix.com. They sent the DVD out for review. I took in a viewing of it the other night. It is an hour-long documentary of pieced together footage from a French individual by the name of Nicolas Guerrero, who basically came stateside a few years back. This is from a few years ago because you can tell by the style of camera that he's using. You can tell it's like a VHS-C or a Super 8mm or something like that. But he went around to just a multitude of locations from the first three in the Dead trilogy, or the core group of the Dead trilogy of George Romero films: Night of the Living Dead, Dawn of the Dead, and of course Day of the Dead. He hit them in a very strategic manner when he came stateside, and that was like his whole goal in life, was to do this documentary and this trip. He was an uber fan of, just a huge fan, I should say, of the original three films. And he speaks, there was a language barrier, but he worked against that and came stateside anyway. It is narrated. He speaks in French for most of the video, but they narrate it as it goes. It's not too cumbersome or anything, but it was pretty neat to kind of see his take on it, and you could tell his heart was really behind this little project. And he went around, he had all his addresses and everything all planned out before he even got on the plane. He came stateside, and he began his journey by finding locations such as the Monroeville Mall, the kind of the big showpiece location for Dawn of the Dead. Pardon me, and the underground mines from Day of the Dead. He goes there, and what was neat about that, even though this was filmed a few years back, probably early 2000s, somewhere around in there. The mines had changed greatly, like the inner locations of it, due to logistics and needs of the business, because it is an operating mine and storage facility of different values. I'm not real sure exactly what they do, but from what I gathered from the film, though, he was able to find certain landmarks, such as inside the mines, to made up to certain scenes in the film, and they note that as they go. They also go to a big in-depth tour of the Monroeville Mall, if you will, and up in Pennsylvania, where they filmed Dawn of the Dead. And the tour group is led by actors that were in the original film, Ken Foree and David Emge, and some of the notable zombies. I think they were at a convention during the time, but they did this as kind of a tie-in with the convention to take groups over to the mall and go around in little circuits and kind of show the locations. Monroeville Mall has changed greatly too. They've done a lot of inside the building. Not a lot has changed on the outside, but some of the inside has never been touched, like the little control room where they first find the keys to the mall. Stuff like that is all the same. The gauges on the wall, they kind of point all that stuff out as Ken Foree's taking them through the mall. I digress. But he also goes to the original classic, Night of the Living Dead. He finds the original house, the original cemetery from the opening scenes in the movie. So many great locations. It would take all day to, he packed a lot of footage into this little 60-minute video and compressed it into like an hour-long running time. It is not rated. This was released in 2008. It is in color, and it's considered documentary and horror. I say, guys, if you're kind of like a location buff like myself, if you've been watching my channel for a while, you know that I like to go out to different movie locations. Although I haven't put a whole lot on my channel, I've still got a few stored on some hard drives and some tapes here and there. They might leak their way on as I get time to put them on there. But what I was going to say is if you're a big time location buff guys out there and you want to see how things have changed, I love those kind of videos. I love Horror's Hallowed Grounds. I like going to certain locations locally here where I live in North Carolina. There were quite a few horror films filmed down here. I hear Stephen King's Cat's Eye had some locations down here. I'm trying to find those. Evil Dead 2, of course. You know, the list goes on. Hellraiser 3, I think, was filmed down the road as well. So there's a whole lot of horror films. If you just do some Google searches, you'll find some different addresses. But I want to say, much like he did in this video, always ask for permission. If you ever go out to any of those locations, I don't condone any type of illegal activity. For example, my Texas Chainsaw Massacre slideshow I did recently, we only took pictures, as you noticed, in most of the locations because we asked permission before we went there. And a lot of them said no video because, say, for example, the main house, it was an operating business. They had customers coming in and out, and they didn't want us kind of upsetting business. Much like Fan of the Dead, this gentleman that was in this video, he asked for a lot of permission before he went into some of these locations. Although it looks like in the video that he didn't do any breaking and entering, that kind of thing. But you know, that's my humble opinion. If you're going to be like a location scout buff, always don't be afraid to knock on a door and just say who you are and what you're there for. Don't be afraid. If they say no, they say no. Anyway, Fan of the Dead checks out, guys. Don't expect so much in a whole lot of super value. This is not HD quality because it wasn't filmed that way. This was filmed on old VHS-C or VHS style or tape style video cameras, and it was all comprised together and edited together with an American narration and an English translation over it. So guys, I say if you're a location buff, I say humbly pick this up, add it to your collection of documentaries. I have a budding little documentary collection, but it's all to one's taste. If you're not really into the zombie thing, you probably want to give this one a miss. But I say, everybody loves zombies now, so I want to put the word out about this one, guys. I've been getting a lot of people asking about what I thought about this one. I've never seen it till now, so if you can find a good price on it, they sell on Amazon. They sell in a lot of the online retailers. CheesyFlix.com. Go to their website. I'll leave their website link down below in the description. Check it out, guys, and I'll leave you with that, guys. As far as documentaries go, on a 4-star scale, I give it a solid 2.5, maybe 3 stars out of 4, mainly because I wish it was a little bit longer, had some supplemental materials, but it's not a deal breaker. So if you can find this for a good few bucks, I say pick it up. Rock on, dudes. I'll catch you next time. Take care, guys. Bye.